What's up, y'all? This is the Thousand Trails Moody Beach Campground in Wells, Maine. And yes, it is right behind a fun park with mini golf, a maze, and go-karts, plus an arcade, which has become a little too addictive to our kids. Come to this park, first thing you're gonna see is this sign, and this one's hiding right behind it. But yep, there is two separate mini golf courses back here. They're pretty epic. Caves, waterfalls, all that fun stuff. And you'll take a long drive back down this road where you'll come to a gate. Before you ever encounter the office, you have to call in. So this Wells, Maine area is a very touristy area. There's a lot of unique restaurants and shops to go visit. Traffic can be a little rough turning out of this road out here. We have found that it's easier to turn right, go to the closest stoplight, turn left, and then drive down through the beach area, which is nice. It's cute, it's scenic, but if you're in a hurry, it could be a little frustrating. Not a lot of your usual chain fast food restaurants. There is a McDonald's and a Subway nearby. We found that we liked the pizza place, Seacoast Pizza. We really enjoyed it. We went in there. They've got, you can get pizza by the slice. They're limited on seating and they're limited on days they're open. I think they were closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But if you're in the area, we recommend checking them out. So all of this area over here is new. We've met some people that have been coming to this campground for 30-something years. I think actually closer to 40-something years, and they remember when this was all a field. This is just an exit gate right here. The actual entrance is right there. And they do a good job of stopping the tailgating. So this is a very useful piece of information. People that are used to Thousand Trails are usually used to stopping in an office before the gate. But with this one, you have to stop right here, push that button right there. Call and tell the office you've got a reservation. They will open and hold it open for you to get through, and then you'll drive to the second office. That's right, the second office, because the first office is kind of useless. Let's take a look at one of these new campsites right here. And now you can see there's a toy hauler right there. They got plenty of room. Got your sewer connection. There's your water right there. I have appreciated, so you've got the two different knobs. I've appreciated using this one for when we leave the campsite and want to shut the water off. That's a lot easier. Sewer connections on these new sites have been pretty decent. Let's look at the power. Obviously everything in the new areas is in pretty good shape. So the cable there, I think they said you have to pay for it. I haven't used cable since 2015, so when I pull into an RV park, I usually don't even bother with that sort of thing. I'm more interested in the internet. There's a variety of different retention ponds like this that are closed off, and the frogs and or toads that are around here, they get noisy, very noisy. It can get so loud out here at night. I was like, is this where some people got ideas for scary movies? The noises you hear in places like this? Now, if you've been staying at a lot of Thousand Trails, you may have noticed that the exits usually have spikes in the ground so that you don't go in through the wrong direction. This park doesn't have that. But then I noticed this area right here. Look at this, exit only, do not enter. And look at here in the ground. That to me looks like they used to have spikes. I suspect that before this new area was built, this was the entrance. You probably could pull through over here, keep right, and it's wide enough for an RV to stop on the right while they checked in. And this office right here, which, so, I mean, that's where I stopped until somebody said, nope, you don't check in there. You have to keep on going way down there. But I think this is where they used to check you in at, right behind the bathhouse. I'm sorry, right in front of the bathhouse. But all that's been adjusted when they added all these sites up here. Not entirely sure what they do with this. It's called an office, but it's always closed. It looks nice on the inside. I just don't know what they're doing with it. But here's our closest bathhouse, which is, I'd say it's considerably newer over the other ones I've seen. They've had some water on the floor problems in here. Got a handheld ADA, and then rain shower head. It is unlimited hot water, and the pressure is amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed these showers. Just wish that they had doors rather than shower curtains. What's been frustrating though is I'm getting tired of these touch-free sinks. They never seem to work right. They're especially annoying when you're trying to brush your teeth. They've also, the soap dispensers are new. Not sure why companies will put these sorts of things up and then they fail to maintain them and then they just leave them. When we first got here, they put a gallon jug of soap out that the pump didn't even work on. You literally just had to pull the pump up, wipe the soap off of the end of it. It just seemed kind of odd. Most of the stuff about this park is really well maintained, except the soap dispensers. So you might call this the first playground. I call it the second one, only because it's obviously quite a bit newer. It's the first one you'll come across as you enter. And there's us, right there. And one of the odd things they did when we first got here, she tried to assign me a site of 312, which was down there and by these cabins in the front. It was a bit tough. We tried to get into 312. The person that lived in the cabin had their truck right there. With me trying to avoid hitting their truck that was parked right at the cabin, I was like all through the grass, having a terrible time trying to get parked in that spot. When I thought about asking the guy to move his truck, I realized he had basically come out there, sat down with a beer to watch me make a fool of myself. So I was just like, you know what? This is supposed to be first come, first serve. That spot, just a straight back in. All I had to do was come down this road and then back straight in. I'm taking it. There's nobody there. There was no white bags. There was no cones. There was no personal belongings. There are some of these that are obviously seasonal sites, but I'm like, no, I'm taking that. I felt like she put me in a spot that was just maybe a little too small for our size of a rig. There is another retention pond down there that's got a chain link fence around it, and it is probably even noisier when those frogs start croaking. As you can see, we've got plenty of space in that spot. Decent amount of room to walk around the back. Truck still has plenty of room there. I like that spot. And this area is still considered a new area over here. I guess this was all just field that the kids used to be able to run and play. This over here is more of their traditional campgrounds that have been here for a long time, as someone described to me. While we were here, I actually hung up a camping hammock right here in the trees, and I slept in it for one night. Was going to try for another night, but then the manager came and knocked on the door and said that they do not allow hanging stuff in the trees. I told him, I says, you know, I don't want to cause any trouble. I'll go ahead and take the hammock down. So when you're first checking in, you're just going to keep on driving back in this park. Now this park goes pretty far back. You can see where the American flag is flapping down there, and there's a cart. That's where the office is, and that's where you'll pull all the way down there when you're ready to check in. They don't have dog parks here. Nothing to let the dogs run freely, but they have these boxes that apparently were supposed to have dog poop bags in them. I have not seen any of them stocked though. Looks more like a tiny birdhouse to me now. Now this park originally belonged to the organization Outdoor World, and then later on Thousand Trails purchased Outdoor World and added this to those parks. Now we bought our Thousand Trails membership originally used, and then we discovered we could not book this park at 180 days because we had some old rules, and we were only allowed to book this site or this campground 90 days out. So you may find if you've bought a membership used that you have that same frustration with this park. If you get a new Thousand Trails membership, you can book this at 180 days out. They have some beautiful flowers around the park. They'll do various things. Looks like, oh, this is updated. Here's some things that are going on today, tomorrow. Yep, they do some good organization of stuff. I can hear, you might be able to hear licensed music playing right now over here at the pool. Didn't do any talking in there. There's kids having fun in the lounge, which you normally would have probably called a recreation center. They call the lounge. Here's the pool. The pool actually kind of felt like it might have been heated, which is kind of rare for a Thousand Trails. The hot tub is definitely heated. I was impressed. It doesn't have a lot of jets, but they work. The water was nice and warm. That's always a winner for me. They have these lockable push buttons to release the gate for the pool area. So this is what the older bathhouse looked like. A lot of narrow stalls. Look at all this bench seating for while you're waiting to take a shower. It's in pretty good shape. I like the old tile and everything. Haven't come down here. The shower right by us has been so good, I haven't bothered trying this one out. There's another one, but it looks like it's locked up for renovations. We got 6 washers and 6 dryers. So back here is probably what would be the main playground. Obviously it looks a little bit older. It's a cool design though, because they actually built like castle walls. It legitimately looks like a castle. So I think me and the girls have taken to calling this the main playground or the big playground. And then this is the recreation hall. But this is kind of disappointing because when you look through the windows, it looks like just a massive storage shed where they're stashing all their holiday decorations, not really being used as a recreation hall. Kind of hard to see it, but there's literally like Dracula. Let's see if I can, he's like not quite looking at us. There we go. Just barely see Dracula just hanging out in there. Also, there's like a skeleton on the wall over there and a giant green diamond with giant googly eyes. Yeah. Recreational hall is not really recreating. They have a variety of these cabins, which judging by the front, you can actually like rent these for the entire season. But they vary in quality and design. I don't know what they have as far as cabins go that are just rentable for like the night. Here's a look at the castle playground. That's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of playgrounds in my day, and I don't think I've ever seen one that had these kind of generic designed castle walls. Wish I saw more of those. And then this down here, this is more new campsites. In fact, this is how it works. If you check in, look, we've got people lined up to check in. They tell you, like, if you're gonna go back to the front, you're instructed to go into here and use this as your turnaround loop. So you'll go back through there and turn around. I had no issues turning around in there. Was plenty of space. This is the Rangers / maintenance facility where they've got all their tools. They keep their go-karts and everything. Lawnmowers, all that stuff's going on in here. So back here behind the maintenance facility is the basketball court, full-size court. I'd say the hoops and the backboards are all in great shape. And I have seen where the activity coordinator has actually been out here leading a game of Around the World. Is what's it called? I was saying horse, but they're like, no, we're playing Around the World. And they invited our girls, like, you want to come and join us? You can play too. And then we've got a couple of dumpsters and a recycle bin back here. This is a pretty far walk back, but I've used it for exercise. Walk a bag of trash back here and do bicep curls with the trash while I'm walking. So all the older streets actually have street names or numbers. There's 12th Street right there. This is 13th Street. So this is kind of an interesting junction right here. This is an actual tent camping area right here in the trees. And Memorial Day weekend, it was packed. I don't know if it was one big group or if it was a bunch of people that were all camping back here. But they were out having fun with cornhole, beanbag toss, things of that nature. And I don't know if you can see it, but through there is another bathhouse. But it's been locked every time I've tried. It looked like they've got drywall down and everything in there. I think that they're renovating it. So this is where the paved road kind of ends. It kind of curves this way down 14th Street. And then this is gravel. So I'm kind of wondering if at some point in the last 40 years, like this isn't necessarily new, but it may be newer, like this might be the original, and this might be newer. But while we're here and there's nobody here, let's take a look at this. So a lot of the older campsites are more of these pull through, what would you call them, horizontal? You kind of, it reminds me of an old state park where you pull through here and then the campers have like almost like friend sites. And I think these are all 30 amp. And also I believe that every site has sewer here. Yep, that's a 30 amp. Now they try their best to prevent people with 30 amp campers from parking in 50 amp spots, which really helps the big RVs like us to make sure we get a spot. It's quite a bit of walking, but I want to take you all the way to the back to show you all a few things back here. Yeah, this park goes way back. It's 15th Street. I believe it goes all the way back to 21st Street. Just doing a quick test. It looks like T-Mobile is actually better back here, at least as far as the download speeds go. Let's see the upload speeds. Yeah, they're acceptable. 2, 3, a little bit low. 160 down is pretty good though. So since we've been here, we started out just using T-Mobile and it was acceptable. I was able to work, we were able to stream with it, no problems. But when we got to Memorial Day weekend, I think it was just too saturated. T-Mobile was anyway. I had to take out the Starlink. Streaming started becoming a problem. So thankfully, I mean, I was already paid up for Starlink, so it wasn't like I was accruing a new cost or anything. I was already paid up for it, so just took it out. Right now we're kind of, some laptops are on the T-Mobile, some of our devices are on the Starlink. Splitting them up helps us out a little bit. We pay for both of them. So this is the back street. This is the back street. This is the last street in the back. We got camping right here, and then we got storage right back here. And then there's this walking trail back here. It's a decent trail. Could be a little bit better maintained, but you get about maybe a quarter mile back and looks like some trees fell and they just kind of piled them up rather than clean them any further. But you can definitely see the very back, as well as any homes and anything like that that are behind the park. But like I said, then this is the storage unit. So if you're somebody that you want to come out here and camp for the whole season and then leave your RV in the winter for storage, you can do that here. While these back here are pull-through sites, they look like they're also buddy sites. So whereas this person pulled through this way, this site you would pull through that way, and your doors would be facing each other. And then you've got opposing business sides right there. Another look at the storage area, the gate that's open. So this side over here is kind of like it's the western side of the park. And I've just found it more attractive, the way that the trees are lined up, and at some point there's even like some creek running through here. It's been a more enjoyable part, just taking the dog for a walk through here. Some of these seasonal full-time people here have got some epic landscaping. Look at that. So this is just kind of coming down the other side, and you can see that bathhouse there hiding in the trees. And there is another grouping of dumpsters right there. I believe we've got a total of 3 dumpster areas. But this over here is the other tent camping area, and this might be my favorite spot to walk through. So let's go take a look. And when I would walk Daisy through here, I was like, this reminds me more of a state park than 1,000 Trails. That's just a really nice ambiance with these trees. I enjoy this a lot. So not even on Memorial Day weekend did I see this area completely full. There was maybe 7 or 8 of these tent sites taken on Memorial Day weekend, so they still had some availability, unless there was people that had them booked and just didn't use them. So you get a on-the-ground fire ring surrounded by rocks right there. Can you see it? And then above-ground fire pit and a picnic table. And that's about it. There's one at the very end that actually has like a deck platform that you can set your tent up on. You can see the cabins and RVs through there and the older campsites. If you look real hard, I can actually see the blue, the shed for the park rangers through there. Oh, somebody actually did set up a pretty big tent that completely covers and goes off of the platform there. That's cool. And so these older campsites, they have a mix. You can actually see where there's like pull through, is that reflection right there is pulled through. But then you've got a whole row down the other side of the street where they're all kind of horizontally parked in there. So would we call that horizontal and that's vertical? Is that what we're going with? Or is it like east to west, north and south? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Interesting. I just noticed that light post is on. I wonder why that one's on. I do apologize if this seems a bit rushed on this video and that there's not the rest of my family in this review of this campsite. We're facing some impending storms that are rolling in, and the girls are doing schoolwork. Kaylin's making some baked potatoes, and it's like, I really need to get this review done before the rain rolls in, because I don't know if it'll clear up again before we leave. I'm like, got to the end of our time here, and I'm like, I haven't filmed this park. I filmed other aspects of Maine, but I haven't filmed this park. So let me just go run around real quick so I can show y'all what Moody Beach Campground is like. Oh wow, I just noticed something really cool. If I look down this street right here, I can see our RV at the end of the road. I see our open range, and my tailgate is down. So I know in the past I've talked about when to be quiet and when to be noisy at parks. This campground for Memorial Day weekend was quite lively and noisy and exciting. I never felt like it was too much or over the top. I know that it was encouraged to be a more lively park because the park manager hires a jazz band to come and play live at the swimming pool. I felt as quiet hours are at 11, and I think that everybody really stuck to that. There was a lot of Boston Celtics mania going on while we were here. Everybody was having a good time, but everything was within reason. And then after 11 o'clock, it got quiet. But during the week, this can be a peaceful, nice park. This is the third dump station, or not dump station, but dumpsters. It's up towards the front. This is divided between older campsites here and newer campsites over there. This is the first Friday in June. I don't know how exciting it's gonna get around here. It's not a holiday weekend or anything, but I get the feeling we'll start to see some campers backing up pretty soon as they're trying to get a spot. That big dually that just passed me was kicking up a lot of dust. And I could feel it in my teeth and in my eyes. Oh, no, thank you. So the Atlantic Ocean is just over that way, I think about a mile, but let's take a look. Planning to get the drone up here and show y'all just a overview of the park as well as where the Atlantic Ocean is at. Now they don't have a whole lot of parking at the beach. Like if you just go straight over, they've got the walkable beach access, but there is literally no parking in that area. You got to drive a ways to the east where you can find some paid parking spots. But this campground offers a shuttle. I believe it was $3. Looked like the first shuttle leaves here at 10:30, and the last shuttle to pick you up from the beach is at 4 o'clock. So if that's something you're interested in, you could go grab one of those shuttle rides over to the beach. We're also a little disappointed that there is no dog park here, but they haven't given us any issues with Daisy being out on the chain. If you watched our channel for a while, you'll know that Daisy's a pretty quiet, very friendly German Shepherd. Doesn't tend to cause a lot of issues or make a lot of noise. She doesn't like to be inside, so a lot of times she just scratches at the door until we let her go out and be on the chain. So we try to make sure she's inside if she can be, but like I said, a lot of times she's like, no, let me out. But I have a playlist that we will put up top of our time in Maine. I have a playlist that I'll put up over here of our time that we spent in Maine. Did we hit everything? Absolutely not. We didn't really go further than Portland. I know a lot of people, they focus on national parks when they travel and they all have to make it to Acadia. We're not that big into national parks. We'll leave that for you. We love to explore all kinds of other things. One of my favorites has been the Nubble Lighthouse. So that'll all be in this main playlist. We hope that you check it out and see if does it make it? Is it there yet? Where are you? Oh, there it is. There is our playlist on Maine, and you can check that out and see our adventure while we were here. And we thank you so much for watching our video. We hope you all have a wonderful week, and remember, life happens, even rain. Don't let it stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags.